Good Saturday morning. Good Saturday morning. This is it, okay? Guess now. Adam is hiding. Adam and Eve are hiding, okay? So the Lord God called to Adam and asked him, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, but I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." Then he asked, "Who told you were naked?" "You've eaten then, haven't you, from the tree of which I forbade you to eat?" "The woman made me do it. She gave me the fruit, and I ate it." The Lord God then said to Adam, I shouldn't make fun of it. The Lord God then asked the woman, "Why'd you do that?" "Well," she said, the serpent tricked me. He tricked me into it, so I ate it. He made me do it. The devil made me do it. Remember that's Flip Wilson? The devil made me do it. That's where it comes from. The Lord said, "Because you've done this, you shall be banned from all the animals and from all the wild creatures. On your belly you shall crawl." Oh, he's saying that to the serpent. I'm sorry. "And on your belly you shall crawl, and the dirt you shall eat all the days of your life. I'll put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. It will strike at your head, and you shall strike at his heel." Okay. And he said to the woman, "I will intensify the pangs of your childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Yet your urge shall be for your husband, and he shall be your master." To the man he said, "Because you listened to your wife, and from the tree of which I have forbidden you to eat, cursed be the ground because of you. In toil shall you eat its yield all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to you." Can you imagine a farmer? "As you eat of the plants of the field, by the sweat of your face shall you get bread to eat, until you return to the ground from which you were taken. For you are dirt, and to dirt you shall return." See? The man called his wife Eve. The man called his wife Eve because she became the mother of all the living. See? And see, it's telling you the great estrangement, not only from God, but from the land itself. I can see this if you were a farmer, you could, especially in his time, with the sweat of your brow, you eke out a living. You eke out a living. And the most important thing is you're alienated from God himself. From walking together in life, we're now in alienation of God. So we're all, in a sense, we're in search of God, the companionship of God. I think that's what it's about, okay? And he's describing the human condition, human birth, the struggle with the land, see? But Christ will enter into that, the incarnation. Christ will enter it. And he's a fellow sufferer with us, a fellow sufferer, see? He transforms the human condition from alienation to communion. And he does that by his death on the cross. I really believe that. See, when I think of the sin of Adam and Eve, it's a sin of disobedience, okay? And it's a natural instinct in us to be selfish and subservient. And I think, but in that we are alienated from ourselves, alienated from the people in our lives, and even alienated from the earth itself. We cease to love the earth. We try to dominate it. And I can understand that in the Middle East. No Native American could have written this thing. Not a chance in the world. I don't believe that at all, because the Native American loved the earth, loved the land. The land was fruitful to him. All he had to do was be a good hunter. Can't control the herd, but you can love the herd and engage it on the herd's own terms. You want to see that? I think the best hunting scene in any movie I ever saw was the movie Dances with Wolves, when the Kevin Costner, who was a soldier, okay, joins the Native American, the Lakota Sioux. You see him being taken in by the wildness and the beauty of the land and the native culture. He becomes them. They call it Indianization. You Indianize, you become an Indian. And I can see why. I would too. I have in so many ways. See? And they engage in a buffalo hunt. That is the most powerful, beautiful hunting scene I've ever seen, because you see it's a conjoining of the hunter and the hunted in a rhythm of beauty and violence. They're killing the buffalo, you see? But they're eating it. There's an intimacy between life and death, the animal and the hunter, you see? Native American wouldn't have written this thing at all. The sweat of his brow. He wouldn't know how to till a soil in a million years, but he knew how to chase a buffalo. He knew how to ride a horse and how to hunt an animal. And by joining the animal in the wildness of the wilderness itself, you can't corral the 10,000 buffalo. See? Can't corral a deer. I remember I went to the zoo with Junie, my friend June, God rest her. And we went to the zoo, and I remember we were looking at the bear. I always used to go, I think I already told you that. Always went to the bears. I always want to look at the bears. I'm a hunter. I hunted bears, and I guided for them. I love the bear. I love bears. And I said, we were standing by it's a railing, of course. You can't get anywhere near them. They were totally, zooed in, okay, is a word, and you're outside. But we're standing on where the railing is. Forget it. You know what I'm saying. There's no way we could get near the bears or they could come near us. Okay, impossible. And I said, Joe, you got to see it when there's no rail. When there's an intimacy, a continuum between you and the wild. I don't think I ever went back after. I know I didn't. I've never returned to the zoo after Junie died. We used to go together there with the kids, the grandkids, but sometimes just Junie and I. They would like to walk there. It was a wonderful place. The St. Louis Zoo is one of the best in the world, literally. But it's also, I don't like caged animals. And I'm a hunter. I take the life of an animal, but I take it out of love. And if I can't love the animal's life I've taken, I can't hunt that animal anymore. Because I take her, he or she gives me her life. That's Indian stuff. You know what? They're right. You have to have been there. You have to have done it to understand that. They're not a commodity. They're not a thing to me. No, they're companions in existence. That's the truth. When I look at the deer heads and the animals I have around, the bears, I look with gratitude for the life they gave me. Personal. I mean that. That's Native American stuff. So when I look at the text there, I can understand it. They're trying to describe the alienation of the human community from itself, internally to itself, from God, and from the land. These are farm boys. They're working their butts off trying to get something to grow. Again, if this was done by Black Elk or one of the Lakota Sioux or something like that, you wouldn't see it this way. You wouldn't get the story this way. It would be different. Black Elk, there's a wonderful book. Read it, Black Elk Speaks. You want to see Native spirituality? That's it. And he became a Catholic and a deacon, and he's up for canonization. God, I hope they canonize him in my lifetime, because he was a shaman, a Lakota Sioux shaman. I would like to see Native American spirituality now Christianized without losing its genius. They would counter the Mediterranean narrative. They would offer an alternative narrative under a Christian, a total Christian narrative. It would fill in what I think is missing. A love of the earth, a raw love of the earth and the wildness of the earth. As a counter voice, to my mind, the agricultural model and the urban model you see that came out of the Mediterranean world. And I'm a Mediterranean person, I'm Italian. The native cultures have something to offer, more than something small, massively important. A keen sense of what Aldo Leopold saw so clearly, that we are fellow citizens of the earth. The natives understood that. They weren't farmers, they were hunters. They understood and loved the land. Land in Aldo Leopold's sense, the fullness of the biotic community, the wild community. That is the truth. I hope someday that Black Elk and his wonderful spirituality, God, I hope they canonize him soon. I hope in my lifetime that I will see it, so that deep native spirituality will become an element within Christian spirituality, Catholic spirituality. I have to tell you, and I'll leave this at the end, for me, the wilderness, the land, is the eighth sacrament. There are 7 sacraments, there is an 8th one, the land itself, especially the wilderness.